Alright, there's the recording. Yeah, so continuing in Recon Breakpoint, the key was provided by AMD, and we're almost done loading in. I'll be finishing off Infinity, I'm pretty sure I'm close, aren't I? And then getting into Fenbog. And I did also in the last part, without... I said I was thinking about doing it at the beginning of it, but I didn't actually say anything when doing it. Yeah, I need to do that. I did grab a plane from an airport here. So I got the bivouac there, then here, and it was actually kind of funny because here I had to ditch the plane. There's no way to land here, it's all trees. But the thing doesn't explode. I felt like going on mic and just be like, and it didn't even explode, what the heck? But it turns out you bail out of a plane in this and it just lands. Well, it crashes, but it's fully intact. Very weird. He is beat up. Alright. We can just leave. There's nothing I have for changing. And I'm gonna first hit that probably abandoned site or just Skeltech location here. Then I'll hit this. Then I'll come over. One of these will be the Control Station Viper 2. And then this is most likely the Alpha Centauri residences. Which one's Lake County? Lake County country's down here. But after Fenbog, I'll probably go up here and clean it out. Oh yeah, that's right, I do have a behemoth up here. Up in there, take care of one up here as well. Oh, that's where the vector is. I actually have been wondering where it is. One down here too. Flash hider, I don't know. Alright. So, gonna be doing what I've been doing, which means muting the mic, turn on the radio, and yeah. But now you know what my plan is. Finish off this area, work my way into Fenbog here. And I'll also have to pull back up that one side mission there, and also I'll work on the main mission. So when I get to that, okay. I'm either actually going to do the main mission, in which case I'll be back on mic, or I will hold off on doing that and come down here to initiate some of the Outcast stuff, which I may still put myself on mic for. Haven't decided on that yet, but there's a part of me that does want to address the Outcasts before continuing the main mission. Alright. And with that said, I'm gonna mute and do what I've been doing.
I'm hearing a lot of talk out here. Rumor is, you over there. Bye now.
Shit! Hostiles are engaging! I repeat, hostiles are engaging!
I haven't heard anything.
Let's go some second chance. Hear about what happened in Freeport? Rumor is those routine roundups were a mess. Shit!
Oh. Oh, God. Oh.
got signs of enemy activity.
Copy that. Be on alert, guys.
Eyes on enemy shooter! Stay low! Keep it up! Find him! Don't let him escape!
I'm thinking that there's a mission that will send me down here to deal with stuff. So the fact that door didn't open does not surprise me. So I mean, just look at this. This looks like this is meant for some kind of set piece, and maybe even a fight, seeing as how you could hide down here, potentially. So yeah, I'm guessing that there's gonna be reason to come back here. Besides, it's the Scale headquarters, isn't it? Something like that. Scale Foundation head office. Yeah, there's gonna be something here. Alright, muting again.
Leave me alone. Space.
Greetings. Could really use your help finding this location.
You won't be disappointed if you head to this location.
Thanks. Much obliged.
Sounds like there were interruptions for the Freeport mission folks.
Get down, soldiers! We got company!
Dude, get this. I heard we were like attacked or something, and we shot down 3 choppers.
I just noticed it. North of New Sterling, even though it's an Infinity mission. I hate that they do that. Just put it in the place it's supposed to be. Ah, well. I'll finish off Infinity, then go on and take care of it.
We're under attack!
We lost two good people. Hawkins and Graham were KIA.
I got nothing. I'm tired of this shit, man. Stand around. Look at nature.
I can't get over how loaded Skell is.
Not sure I believe any of them.
I had a friend there. He had
Cutting it through.
Heads up, we got company!
Roger that. Let's wait them.
I need a new position!
Oh. Oh God. Oh.
God, take him down! You're an asshole!
Oh God. Oh.
Are you the two that need help with the medicine?
Oh, wow. Alice B., look at this handsome thing walking in looking to help. Yeah, Gertrude. Medicine, totally. Open wide and stick out your tongue.
I heard the people really need it.
I could use a checkup myself. Gertrude, stop. But we never get visitors. See, Gert and I need ingredients, but we're under, well, just a touch of minor house arrest. If we go outside, bang, bang, close casket, funeral.
All right, let me guess. You want me to get them for you?
That would be most ideal. We'll need to find several dead stars. They are like special mushrooms. They grow in the woods, in the High Cliffs biome. So, you know, Smuggler Coves, Wild Coast, and Whalers Bay. You get the idea.
I'll see what I can do. You two enjoy yourselves.
What's the latest, eh?
Oh. You are such a little dream bringing us these supplies. It will be a huge help. Oh, I don't have the bacterial culture to make enough medicine from what you just collected.
Where the hell am I gonna find that?
I think the refrigeration units the Scale scientists use might have it in the cold storage center. The bacteria needs to stay at a low temperature, or it goes bad.
What do you need me to do? Kidnap a refrigerator?
Well, maybe. The culture spoils at room temperature, so you'll only have about an hour to bring it back. So, whatever you do, just be quick about it. You're smart, though. I'm sure you'll think of something. You don't mind, do you?
No, it's fine.
We would truly appreciate it. House arrest prevents us from leaving. But you know what? We'd be happy to cook you up the very first sample of the medicine with the ingredients you bring back.
Works for me. I'll see you two later.
Should wait for an official report. Maybe
I could get my hands on the rich bastard's stuff.
No way Skell goes back there, even if it's still standing. I heard things were crazy.
Those should just give up and turn themselves in.
Ghosts make my life hell. Killing every last one.
Heads up, boys. There might be hostiles in the...
Get ready! We're under attack! Copy that! Light him up!
Cover me, I'm moving!
You got anything else to say?
Don't kill me! That's all I know, I swear!
The numbers were solid.
Please leave me alone.
Leave me alone.
Shots over here!
This is not good. I'm gonna look around.
shithead. Tell me what you know about this bootlegging operation.
I've told you all of it.
What the hell do you think happened to those civilians?
I know.
Sooner or later, those ghosts will.
From Freeport is that mission been built up?
Sounds like some crazy shit went down.
Did you see Skell's villa? It's a damn palace. It's probably old.
Yeah, the villa where our boys got smoked by ghosts?
Wish I could have gotten my hands on all the stuff at Skell's villa. It was a damn palace. Would be wiser for those ghosts to just give up and turn themselves in. Imagine having enough money
Please,
to buy
get
a
out
whole
of my
island.
space.
Yeah, I don't trust him. He deserves
Please,
what's coming
just
to him.
stop. Get out of my hair, please. Oh my god. Oh my god.
I need cover! Come on, keep... Okay, boy.
Four times. I am keeping track in the notes. 4 times. Bullshit every time. 4 times now. Okay, this is bullshit. I need to go back to them. That is absolute bullshit. There is no excuse for that. None at all.
Can't go any faster. This thing is a mess.
Hi. I seem to be in need of some info.
I've said everything.
Appreciate your help.
No, no, no!
Whoa.
You are such a little dream bringing us these supplies. It will be a huge help. Oh, I don't have the bacterial culture to make enough medicine from what you just collected.
Where the hell am I gonna find that?
I think the refrigeration units the Scale scientists use might have it in the cold storage center. The bacteria needs to stay at a low temperature, or it goes bad.
What do you need me to do? Kidnap a refrigerator?
Well, maybe. The culture spoils at room temperature, so you'll only have about an hour to bring it back. So, whatever you do, just be quick about it. You're smart, though. I'm sure you'll think of something. You don't mind, do you?
No, it's fine.
We would truly appreciate it. House arrest prevents us from leaving. But you know what? We'd be happy to cook you up the very first sample of the medicine with the ingredients you bring back.
Works for me. I'll see you two later.
Spyware or enemy tech. Way to state the obvious, man.
We're under attack! Move it!
Why are you here? What do you want with the lanterns?
I told you everything! Just don't hurt me, all right?
themselves in.
I just don't understand. Could get killed out here.
Too bitch to show their faces.
Why are they doing this?
Word is the Freeport folks ran into some...
No!
How can that be?
Tell me everything.
That's everything I know. Don't kill me. Come on.
I have a family. No, 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 no.
Shit, they're here!
Someone's here! Let's go teach him some manners.
Nobody can hide from us!
Whatever that was, I'm gonna go after it.
Gah! Eyes on enemy!
I want eyes on the target.
There is...
I'm back. None the worse for the wear. You made the medicine for me?
You're a darling. Dead Star and the bacteria culture made the medicine. We just helped it along the way.
They made a little medicine baby together.
Now she's all grown up and ready to go away with you to school. She can help you if you get into trouble.
Maybe it will enhance your performance. It'll give you a little boost in combat, too.
Yeah, sure. Thanks.
You're upsetting me, okay?
You're the scientist the soldiers are looking for.
Scientist? Me? No, I'm just a humble groundskeeper. Can't play golf if there's too many divots.
Listen, it's okay. All right, I'm not here to hurt you.
Hurt me? Why would you hurt me? I can help you get the best tea time on the island.
Seriously, I am not with Sentinel. You can drop the act.
Really? Oh, thank Gaia.
Why are you on the run?
I was working on new surveillance tech that would make sure that no one could do anything naughty without being caught. But now the soldiers want to use it on the homesteaders and outcasts to control them. If the people ensuring everyone acts nice are the ones that are naughty, then the whole thing goes backwards.
Right.
So I had no choice. I did the worst thing ever in the history of the world that I could ever do.
Let me guess, you killed your supervisor and ran off.
Killed? No. Much worse. I erased my work and ran off.
That's worse?
People are born all the time, but my work... The world may never see its like again.
What can I do to help?
Well, I need to be dead.
Look, come on. I'm not gonna kill you, man.
No, not for real dead. Pretend dead. If you can hack the servers at Black Tiger Outpost and change my data without anyone noticing, then it will look like I died trying to escape them.
Okay, I'll see what I could do.
Hey, I'm gonna be dead.
What you...
I'm in the middle of it. Just wait.
Jeez! Enemy contact! And get low!
attack didn't go as planned.
Same here, no movement.
I'm working. Help or leave.
Shit! Enemy forces!
Okay, I took care of your death.
I'm dead? I'm dead. Yes! Finally dead.
Just keep your head down for a while, all right?
Oh, don't worry. They would need my old tech to find me, but they can't use that. Because I deleted it.
Yeah, I got it.
I'll make something new. Something so good that no bad people could ever use it for something bad.
Sounds great. Oh yeah, one more thing.
What?
Please, get yourself a new psychologist.
Hey! Just stop bothering me, okay?
About choppers getting shot down? I don't know.
Well, I guess I'm gonna be on mic then. Because I need to come here for the, I hear it. Oh, there it is. Need to come here for that one side mission. And it's also where I need to be for the others, so... the story mission. Drat. Really hoping I'd be able to, get that bivouac location. There we go. Nope. There. Come on. There it is. Whew. So weird. I already know where that is. Maybe it just adds it to tracking.
J-Scale activated the drone in this area. That thing will have a GPS card that'll help me track the signal.
Now, I should be able to destroy it. Because I'm gonna have to. What I mean is destroy it and get the information from what remains. I have no idea how to... well, I guess I could stun it with something. Oh good, it even says destroy. I'm really hoping to find a power generator. It doesn't look like there is one. Trapped. Turning off the lights would have helped. Oh, no, it's right there. Perfect. Turning off the lights would help. I think I'll even be able to get there. That's a weird... Yep. Weird feeling. Did I remember to unmute the mic? I was pretty sure I did, but always best to double check.
Here they come.
Listen up. There may be hostiles in the area.
Yeah, roger that. Standing by.
It would also be nice if there were a turret I could use. Take out the drones, but I can do it without a turret. I just find it easier with a turret. Okay. Oop. That's up here. Alright. Got it. That's only one. Need to get the other. Might not be for the mission, but it'll make things easier, won't it? There. No. Doesn't look like I could make that. Doesn't look like I could make that shot.
Okay, these hostiles can't hide forever.
Wow, did not realize you'd be that loud.
Keep your eyes out, you son of a bitch. Here.
Keep looking.
He's out here
They're
somewhere.
out here.
the Edelman skill, the sonar, gets recharged from close range kills. Can't get much closer than the melee kills, so... Of course, I was also close to it that probably wasn't necessary, but close to having the skill charged that probably wasn't necessary, but still. That's what I did. Where is it? Where's the other one? Is it one more over? Yes, it is. Oh, I need to go up there now. Wait, no.
Miss Puri? I'm not sure I feel good about producing all these automated answers for the communication shutdown. Isn't this measure a little... excessive?
I was just looking for exclamation points on any of them, not if I had any others basically completed.
Figure out what's next.
Let me look. Yeah, that's a ways in. Oh, I do still have some stuff to do here, but I can leave that marked.
Hostiles, move!
Don't forget about the...
About the what? Where is it? It's supposed to be another chest of Skell credits. I mean, shoot, not a big deal. I don't even know how many I have, and I'm sure it's more than I need. I'd still like to know where it is. There. Ah, here's a turret. Would not have helped with, killing the drone, though. Or drones. I didn't mean to run the body over. I didn't see it there, and even then I don't care. I'm in kind of a tank anyway. It's not like it would care either. Okay. Seems like there's a... well, I actually shouldn't have stopped going this direction, but it seems like there's not an actual structure here to look at. It's just... maybe there's some... the chest of credits is out in the middle of these, but I don't care to keep looking for them. Nope, not there. That would have been convenient.
Shit, look at it. Outcasts did all this. I didn't think they were capable.
Enemy contact!
They found us!
Hang on. Just... this is not a recycling center. Recycling facility, it's not that either. At least not an actual facility for recycling. you would need, you know, if you're working with aluminum and such, you're gonna need like foundry type equipment. It looks like what this, all this is for collecting and possibly some sorting. Okay, skull credits. I'm forgetting to check. What is it that I'm looking for here? You know, this is, well, actually kind of what recycling is in America. It gets collected together and then it's actually sent off, it's sold off. Especially to China, that will then, well, do something with it in theory. Sometimes they don't. Yeah, it's not cheap to do the process of recycling some stuff. Some's probably easy. I can believe that some of the metal stuff might be here. Depending on answering metals, but plastics, no. That stuff gets too expensive. Paper could also, some paper stuff could also be here. Well, actually, no, even then, I'm not sure. I just know that there's a fair amount of stuff that, no, it's just collected together and then sold. Because that's more profitable than actually doing the processing here. It's also worth knowing that some things, the only reason they're not considered recyclable is because of the cost. Oh, what was it that I think it was an ACS, American Chemistry Society, Chemical Society, that talked about it. That styrofoam, the plastic used for that, I don't remember the name, but it's actually used in a lot of other things as well. The plastic forks and spoons you may get in takeout, you know, restaurant throw them in there. Same plastic, it's just a different form. But the thing with styrofoam is that, yeah, it can totally be recycled. The problem is there's so much air in the styrofoam that by the time you clean it and then you basically destroy it and make it into a pulp to work with, there is so much air in there to work with it is just a mess. It's too expensive. The value of the plastic is less than the cost it would take to recycle it. So it's not recyclable because there's no way to do it that would actually, you know, get a return on the investment. And if you're thinking that, oh, it's just a money thing, no, it's also an energy thing. You know, it might just be cheaper to, well, it costs less energy to initially make it than to then do the processing to recycle it and use it again. Because, yeah, I mean, energy does factor into cost. It's not just like labor costs or taxes or trying to make a profit. It's also what it actually costs to do certain things. And also I would say that you would kind of think that a island like this, they would not settle for, okay, this has got to be tied to something else. But they would not settle just for bundling it up and taking it elsewhere. They would actually have the facilities here to do the processing. But then it's also, you know, you look around, well, you look through the stuff, they don't have even a concrete factory, which would be a significant problem, because you kind of need it. That, I mean, there's definitely concrete buildings. And there's a time limit on every batch of concrete before it hardens. So you need the trucks with it to be able to get to the site before then. Oop, hit the wrong button. I kind of wonder if there's ever been a case, or cases, if it happened once, it would have happened multiple times, I'm sure, that concrete trucks actually get police escorts. It's like far enough away that they need to ensure that it gets there in time. But then it could also just be that like they try to do the deliveries at night, so as not to inconvenience people, because you can expect that there will be less traffic at night. Yeah, you'd also need facilities for metalworking, forging of some kind. Unless you're doing it all by plastics, but then you need some source of material for that. Whether it is an actual petroleum source, or if it's something organic, you would still need a farm for it, and I don't recall really running into anything for that. I mean, yeah, it's a video game, and it's... Actually, yeah, I don't know if I'd seen anything indicating that it's supposed to be a self-sufficient island, or not. It might be in there, and I just haven't looked.
Greetings, stranger.
Yeah,
I need to know how to find this place. Can you help?
This is where you'll find what you're looking for.
I appreciate it. Goodbye.
Yeah. You could also need some way to make the gunpowder for Sentinel. Finally, the dance of the motorcycle ends, for now. Yeah, it's one thing that's always weird when you start writing part of a review before you finish the game, even if it is you're over 70 hours in. Because if you write something, then it's like, huh, it's now not doing that. It's like, did I? No, I know what happened, but is it maybe less of an issue? And then it just happens again and again. It's like, nah, it's not less of an issue. It's just kind of random. But still, that kind of behavior is, to me, it's not acceptable. They need to... Assuming that they did see it, well, at any points during development, including after release, it's still, they should have come up with a solution. And I feel like, well, just like at the recycling center, facility, sorry. And one solution could be to just let you clip, basically, to it, to the bike, so that way you don't have the dancing issue, but then the problem is, could that be exploited to clip through other things? I mean, it's like that's a very quick, well, in theory, quick. Let's go with messy solution. Because it might not actually be quick, but it's to implement something like that, but it would definitely have the risk of causing problems. A hotfix solution is another way to think of it. It's not the perfect solution, but it might get it done quickly. No, I also wonder, going back to the whole making of the plastics, how do they make the medications? Because a lot of medications are petroleum derived.
Our guys got...
They're not all organic based. Some can be, but not all. I mean, there's a reason so many drugs came to be created after World War II. Because World War II put such a strain on resources that plastics needed to be developed as alternatives. Like nylon is an artificial silk. Latex is an artificial rubber. Both silk and rubber are natural materials, but there wasn't enough, so they had to go to something else. Well, all that expertise working with plastics allowed scientists to develop medicines. Because it's all organic chemistry, as in dealing with carbon and oxygen and hydrogen. Not like it's, organic as in living. It's like oil is an organic compound. Son of a bitch. There. Gasoline would be as well. Because it's just, for what organic means in chemistry, it is. What it means in common vernacular organic, people would say it isn't. And some people would say it isn't. And that is hardly the only thing that in science there's a curiously different, but not always completely different, meaning. The spontaneous. In normal English, spontaneous is expected to mean that it's random, that it just happened without cause, and that it was unexpected. Well, in some ways, that's still kind of like what the actual scientific definition is, in that it's not, you don't always know when it's going to happen, but the thing is, it will happen. Spontaneity in science, chemistry is where I learned this, but it would also be the case in physics, is when, I'm trying to think of the best way to put it, the thermodynamics way would be, it's when the entropy of the system would increase if this action occurs. But another way to put it is just, if the energy of the system would be lowered by this, then it will spontaneously happen. Like one example, it's kind of a cheeky example, but it works. Holding an object out, just over the floor, like, a pen or pencil. If you release it, it will spontaneously fall to the ground, because gravity is pulling on it. Technically, it could wait, it could hang there for a while, but the point is, it will be a spontaneous action. It is going to happen. another good example would be like spontaneous combustion in a silo, because of all the grain dust that can build up in a silo, which that will combust because if it mixes properly with air. And that is in fact a chemical reaction. Combustion is a chemical reaction. And the conditions can be right that there'd be less energy to the system if suddenly this stuff starts burning, because it's going to release energy as heat then, stuff like that. It's also kind of funny, the definitions for chaos. Well, those are different. People would think of chaos as random, but again, in science, slightly different meaning. Chaos is not random. It's just that the patterns are unknowable. Which it may sound nonsensical, but it isn't. I'm just trying to think, what would be a good example that I can explain? A good example of a chaotic system is the weather. Which I guess in a way is actually just a good example for explanation as well. When was the last time you actually saw a weather forecast be completely correct? Chainsaw? You haven't. Well, that's because it's chaotic. You can, come up with things that approximate it, but you can never create a perfect model of the weather. There's, in that case, too many variables involved.
Watch out! We're under attack!
There is one way that I thought of to describe a difference between chaos, something being chaotic and something being random, that I'm pretty sure is completely accurate. Imagine two lotteries. One is chaotic, one is random. Okay? Now, if you could perfectly recreate the situation, let's just say, you can travel back in time. It's like you see the lottery done once for both. You travel back in time and you look at it again. You go back in time and you place the bet. And assuming that you do not influence any variable in the process, which would you want to bet on? The chaotic lottery or the random lottery? You'd want to bet on the chaotic, because as long as all the initial variables are the same, the outcome will be the same. Because it's sensitive to a lot of variables, sensitive to initial conditions, but there is a pattern to it, you just don't know it. Whereas when it's random, it'll always change. It'll always be different. So there is no sensitivity, it just, there probably would still be some sensitivity, but there is no way to actually predict it. There is no pattern that you can use to describe it. I mean, I can think of another analogous thing in the sciences, but I don't know if that would help people. There's more than one kind of infinity. There's the countable and the uncountable infinities. And an example of them would be the integers, or if you want just half the integers from 0 up to positive infinity, that is a countable infinity, whereas the real numbers, even if it is just all the positives and 0, it would be uncountable. Where do I want to go now? Let's go there. So the distinction is that if you had an unlimited amount of time, you can technically count every integer. You know, 1 a second, which when you get to really large ones would be very fast, but technically, in an unlimited amount of time, you could do that. Here's where it gets weird, though. Can you count... you cannot count all the numbers between. Kind of speaks to one of Zeno's paradoxes. Imagine two bodies, and you cut the distance in half between them. Then do it again, then do it again, then do it again, then do it again. Doing that, you never actually... You think, oh, they'll never actually touch, because you're always cutting a distance in half, which means that there's always a smaller distance there. That's how the real numbers are. There's always a smaller value between any two values. There's always another value between. Because of that, you can never finish counting them. Hence, it's an uncountable infinity. Whereas with the integers, yes, there is still a tremendous number of them. It would take you an infinite amount of time to... a countable infinite amount of time to read them all, to count them all. But you can technically do so. There's none hidden away. There isn't a you can go smaller and find more. It's you just keep going on. It's kind of a weird concept, but it's really an interesting one. And the freaky part is it's a question of, is there something in between? Is there an infinity between countable and uncountable? And what is the distinction between countable and uncountable? It's like, yeah, there's that concept there, but is there an actual specific concept, that specific line between them that separates them? Oh, and by the way, that Zeno's paradox is one of the things that limits when the foundational concepts to calculus explains, or at least addresses. Because kind of what that paradox even describes is a limit. Yeah, if you've ever heard of Zeno's paradoxes or choose to look at them, basically calculus addresses, I think, all three. It's been a while since I've looked at them, but they were all three of them are questions that, when armed with calculus, I'm pretty sure when armed with calculus, you are able to answer all three. That also reminds me of a funny thing. So, geometry. Oh man, I wish I could remember who set them. I just can't remember. Geometry has I don't remember how many now, but so many axioms to it. Where these are rigorous assumptions, I guess would be a way to put it. Axioms are like assumptions, but they're foundational. They're fundamental. So, it's not just we're going to assume that this is true. It's a no, this has to be true for this stuff to work. And the funny thing is, with geometry, if it is that there are 7, and forgive me if I'm wrong and there aren't 7, but let's just go with 7. Let's assume it is 7, because it makes possible for me to explain this. 6 of them have been proven. Meaning, yes, they are necessary for geometry to work. The 7th has not been. And I'm trying to remember if they've proven it can't be. And you cannot prove that is necessary. It makes sense because it turns out without that, you still have a form of geometry. That is the parallel axiom, which is if you have a line, well, 3 lines where 2 intersect the third, if the angle of intersections between those 2 lines across that third are the same, the lines are parallel. Now, if you don't require that to be true, it's like, what happens? Well, a guy asked that question once, long ago, and he worked on it, and actually came up with some stuff. And everybody just kind of laughed at him, because it was like, nah, There's no point to this. You must be wrong. There's no value to this. It means nothing. So he was laughed at, which does happen actually quite a bit in scientific community kind of stuff. Well, fortunately his notes were not completely lost. They were probably forgotten, but they were kept in a library. I don't remember what library. This was in Europe. This was, like, either this part of it is from the Renaissance, or the next part that I'm getting to is from the Renaissance, when some scientists, engineers, natural philosophers, whatever you want to call them. There's a bunch of names that would apply to them at that time. They were working on, I'm pretty sure it was the heating and cooling of bodies. So, you know, like how if you have a body of iron, an object of iron, how does this warm and cool off? And one day, apparently they were just going through the library, looking at old notes, found this guy's notes from, I think it was more than a century prior, and realized that everything he had was what they were concluding. That the math fits what they were doing themselves. So it turns out that hyperbolic geometry, because that's what the guy invented, was actually very, very valuable. And you still see it, I mean, it's used plenty today, and not just in, this a, oh no, okay, so this is just for that, so it would be nice if they had that icon up there.
I sure don't envy him. He deserves what he gets.
But, yeah, so it's, but no one thought that had any purpose until they finally found it, and fortunately found the notes, so they could credit him, basically. I don't remember the guy's name. I'm not that good with names anyway. But, yeah, and if that idea of the parallel axiom, because that definition of parallel lines would make sense, right? What happens when you don't have that? It's not necessarily as weird as you'd think. At least one example of it is not as weird as you'd think. Basically allowed the lines to be circles. See, that's also part of it, is that the line doesn't have to be this straight object that just continues on indefinitely. It can be other shapes, such as a circle. So long as you have like two concentric circles, they will never cross. So if those are lines, then they are parallel lines, because that is still part of the definition of parallel, that they are two lines that will not cross. It also reminds me, and yes, I am talking to fill time, of something I saw a couple weeks ago, which will be more than that by the time this video comes out. But it was funny to read, because it's like, I feel, now true, I could be wrong. I could definitely be wrong, but it's still, I feel like information theory needs to be studied by more people. I like information theory. I've only really seen stuff from the various press releases I get from university and such, because of some new research in it. But it is so fascinating a topic, and there are just certain things in it where it's like, well, yeah, that's obvious. To me, at least, it's like, oh yeah, that makes perfect sense that this is how that would work. And yet, I'll see things like this one suggestion that basically the approach to math has been wrong for a while. And I can understand what they're going for here, but at the same time, it's part of their argument doesn't hold true, so it kind of undermines their whole approach. it was for this idea of non-determinist math. And that this actually used to be a theory, and it basically just got outcompeted.
I see a bad guy!
And we have deterministic math now, in that we have specific values, whereas with non-determinist math, values would be, you know, like you would consider them as something that would be derived from a function, from some system. So it's not that it is, like pi is not just a never-ending string of digits. It is the result of something specific. And part of the reason, the part of it that was like, no, that's really not how this works, was because they tried to reason that you couldn't allow that it wouldn't make sense, because the information to store the information of a number like pi would be infinite. They were saying, it's like, no, that's actually not how that would work at all. Because that same kind of reasoning, because it's like, oh, there's an infinite number of digits here, so, you know, you couldn't store it all. You could never write it all down, so it doesn't make sense. Well, the problem is that's pi in one of our representations of a number. When you look at a circle, though, technically it's intrinsic in the circle. Like that's just one simple way to put it. It's there. Pi exists there, not as a written number, but as something else. Now, true, you could argue, okay, well, that's like determinist. That's like the whole non-determinist math. All right. How about this then? The number 1. To actually have complete precision on that, you would need an infinite number of zeros after. You need 1 and then a decimal point, then an infinite number of zeros after it. Does that take more information to write? Do I actually want to go here, or do I want to keep exploring? That would take more information to write by their logic than to write just a single digit 1. It's the same value, though. So if one takes more information than the other, we would have a paradox, wouldn't we? With the same value, can have 2 equivalent representations that take massively different amounts of information. Well, the reason why I don't like this is like, well, the answer is obvious. It's not a question of how it's represented. The universe doesn't care about how a value is represented. It cares about what the value is, and it stores the value, and its storage mechanism would be something far more abstract than numbers. And I just feel like that's something that information theory would be like, no, you're not, you're thinking about this wrong. It was also funny how I saw something. It was around that same time. And again, this is actually something that is one of those. This should be obvious with information theory, that you could just zip files, zip data from certain experiments to get information to figure out relative to each other how much entropy was in the data. It's like, well, yeah, I mean, in data compression, there even is the concept of entropy. And guess what? It's the same concept. It's a disorder. And the more entropy there is, because that's hard to compress, that's hard to encode, the larger the file. It's like, it follows from it. It's like, oh my god, hey, we realized we could save so much time doing this. It's like, it's kind of natural.
Josiah, what is this? I found some of the others. Johnson. Weaver. They were good men. What is Walker after? He's lost it.
Ever since that shit went down with Vaughn, I should have stopped him then.
You know, Vaughn was worthless.
Sure. But it didn't have to go down that way. What did you do?
There was, I thought someone was gonna shoot me.
This is our village, Vaughn. These are fucking allies.
She had a weapon. Yeah, she had a gun.
Well, I don't see no fucking gun.
No, she had a weapon. See? She left me no choice.
You gotta be kidding me.
You're done. You have wasted too much of my fucking time as it is.
No, you can't do this to me.
You did this to you.
No, this is your fault! You kept riding me!
Oh, Christ.
Pushing me! You don't! You don't! Oh man, my dad is gonna hear what you did to me.
You fucking worm. You cry to your daddy? That what you're gonna do? Every single time you fuck up, you put the blame on someone else, don't you? Anytime you're in trouble, you just wait for that daddy of yours to swoop on in, huh? Well, let me tell you something. Your daddy, he ain't here.
Fuck you. I'm a good soldier. I'm a good soldier!
You are a worthless fucking human being.
Hey. Come on. Vaughn, give me your weapon. Come on. Walker.
I've had enough.
Walker, what the hell did you do? He was done.
Well, now he's done. Besides, if I didn't kill that worthless pogue, whole village might have come after us.
Hey, this ain't right, Walker!
It definitely is not.
You know the rest.
I know you didn't testify. You kept him out of the brig.
I should have said something. Then we wouldn't be in the shitstorm.
No. You did good.
That's my soldiers he just shot.
He tried to keep the issue from getting worse. And in a way, you could say he did, but only for the short term. He didn't address the problem, he just tried to keep it small.
Was in the computer lab.
Yeah, you need to... Can't just try to keep things small. You need to actually address them. Alright. Oh, yeah. I didn't even look, I just thought it said play there. Oh, I've already seen this one. See, and that's where I went. Was in earlier today.
Still be in one piece.
Earlier this video.
Let's go check it out.
I don't know. I want to recon Walker's men. Find out what he's after.
You see any familiar faces? Don't assume they're friendly.
You too. We'll link up back here.
Video games and movies and such have made me cynical, and so probably a few other things. I don't trust him. I just... Like how he said you did good. It's... That unnerved me a little bit, but I mean, hell, I even gave an explanation for how, yeah, in a way, you could say that. I need to make some notes on the story, by the way. But... how he's saying, no, you do that, I'm gonna go recon them. Which would be a way to explain him going near the wolves, near Walker and his guys. So that if you saw him nearby, that's what's going on. I mean, let's... It is possible that he, like they just said, if you see someone familiar, that doesn't mean you can trust them. Maybe true of him as well. Alright, hang on, I need to check that. Yep. Oh no, hill. Okay. Alright. I don't think I'll go there next. Yeah. Be more like focusing on this. Plus, how long have I been going? Alright, I'll go a little bit longer, but then I'll stop, so this will probably be just 3 hours. It's, Oh, yeah, let me actually see how's that doing. That figures. I was uploading the first 10 parts, and the last one failed, apparently. Ah, well. I mean, in a way, it's fine, because Windows wants to restart so it can install .NET updates, so I figure I'll, after I finish here, I'll restart and then get the processing stuff going overnight, because I do not trust Windows to not decide that, oh, the CPU is completely pegged out at 100% usage. You're not using the system, I'll restart now. I'm not kidding, that's happened to me multiple times. It's ridiculous. Also reminds me of something I saw recently that Microsoft, well, they've had in there for a while now, the ability to have a Linux subsystem, an actual virtual machine that'll run the Linux inside of Windows 10 for a while now, which is definitely an interesting thing. It makes sense in some ways that they would do this because it would help developers that are doing stuff on Linux, so that they don't need to have a separate machine, they can just run it directly in Windows. But they've also changed it a little bit in that what they're adding. Oh man, I don't remember. They did change the virtual machine setup a little bit. Where I just don't remember how. But the thing they're adding is Explorer would be able to see the file storage and access it. So be able to access the Linux file system on the system, you know, on your computer. And it is interesting. I know some people speculated a while ago, and it's fair to speculate that Microsoft at some point might actually try to leave using their kernel, because Windows has its own kernel, and might go to actually using Linux, which in a way would make sense, because the Linux kernel, for one thing, is well known for its stability. It is very stable, has a lot of support, and being open source means that a lot of people are able to work on it and make it better. But something else, and this speaks to the whole, it makes some sense that Microsoft might choose to do this, they already use a Linux kernel. Like the Azure cloud compute stuff that they do, and the operating system for Azure is, I don't know if it's Windows necessarily, but it is Microsoft made. Yeah, it's using the Linux kernel. Their servers are the Windows servers, well, their Microsoft server, Azure server stuff is running Linux. So it's not like they don't have engineers familiar with it, and people, that rumor, which was months ago now I think, was basically saying that Microsoft is going to decide to just unify everything on the Linux kernel. And I wonder if people are going to consider this support for that. The idea of having the Linux file system support in there, in Windows. I mean, it'd definitely be interesting for some things.
How can that team be overpowered?
One thing that I'd be curious about is how would that influence the AMD driver situation? Because a lot of people like to praise the Linux drivers. Not that they're at perfect parity, but the fact that AMD made them open source means that people are able to go in there and make additions to them, make fixes to them. And also it's a way to track. Well, it's not so much that people make additions, it's that people are then able to use that to add into the Mesa system, which also does some of the interpretation stuff for sending the instructions to a GPU. But it's also a reason why I will check Phoronix daily for news, because there might be some AMD news there. Arcturus appeared there. Some information on Navi appeared there. You know, before public announcements. Because you can get an idea of just, you know, like, what kind of blocks are in there. Like, does this have a new video encode and decode block on there? Things like that. Useful, interesting information to have. Will appear in the Linux code first. But I wonder if... I mean, true, if Microsoft went to the Linux kernel, though, for Windows, that would mean a lot of things would have to change. And there'd probably be enough that wouldn't have to, but I could see that some driver stuff would need to change, because, like, suddenly... Well, I mean, think about it, you already can't use Windows drivers on a Linux machine. You know, it's not like, oh, we'll just compile it for Linux. It's not that simple. If it were, then why had it been for a while that AMD drivers weren't that good on Linux, but then they did the whole, hey, we'll make it open source and all that, and now they're actually praised as very good, while NVIDIA's drivers are not so much. NVIDIA has done things to make their proprietary drivers better, but, you know, people do try to... There's also the Nuvo? I think it is the name of the open source drivers for it. For NVIDIA GPUs, and they struggle because there's so much stuff that NVIDIA doesn't let be known.
Contact! We're under attack!
Roger. Alright, stay alert, everyone.
Yeah, so if it were just a simple, oh yeah, just, you know, run it with different flags, you would not see that problem. But then also part of the reason why the proprietary driver stuff is undesired is that it can cause licensing issues. So a lot of people, and there's fair reason for this, like, they want to be able to have a Linux distribution be all under the same license. So like the MIT license. But the moment you start having proprietary software in there, like a driver, you suddenly can't do that. You can't have this where it's like the MIT license, continuing with that example, is very, very open, where it's basically, yeah, do whatever you want. I think it isn't quite that open, but that's the level that it's kind of at. Come on, stick your head up. But you do see issues with that and other things where it's like the license is different. We can't. Okay. So we can't do certain things. You can't incorporate it. Yeah, like I actually remember with OBS, the AMF, what was that, Advanced Media Framework? AMD's, the stuff for accessing AMD's video coding engine, that actually could not be incorporated into OBS, even if they wanted to, because its license was different. So it had to stay as a plugin. That the plugin could be installed with OBS if you asked, if you had that checked off, but it would have to be under a different license. I know that's how it used to be. I'm pretty sure that's how it still is. And even if the two licenses might be similar between OBS and whatever OBS uses, I just don't remember, and what AMD uses, It could actually be the MIT license, because I think that's what they use for their GPU open stuff.
We're under attack!
It can still just be a... No, it's all under this license. It just makes things a lot easier. Alright, what else have we got here? There's not really anything down there. Something there. I'm gonna run to it. Because I think I'll be ending soon. But going back to the Windows stuff, I had seen that Microsoft does want to make changes so that updates, some won't even require, oh, I see it, restarts to apply. That'll be nice. Mainly just so it doesn't try to restart while you're in the middle of something. But yeah, they're constantly working on that. But it's also, man, there's just so many things that... I mean, to be fair to Microsoft, Windows has a lot of shit in it that it kind of can't just throw out. You can't decide, hey, we're gonna get rid of all this backwards compatibility that's been built up over decades and just make it nice and clean and purty. Even though that's kind of what it would take to fix a lot of stuff, but that is the situation, that they don't want to break all the backwards compatibility, which makes it hard to fix some issues that you may encounter.
How I can find this location? Thanks for having my back.
Also make it hard to know if you have an issue. Well, to know if what you've done is going to cause a bug. Because of all that backwards compatibility in there. Then I guess maybe that's probably the reason why they're involved with the OpenGL and OpenCL to DirectX 12 layer that they're working on with Collabra. This news was from a week or two ago. No, 2 or 3 weeks ago. So I don't perfectly remember. But it just, if you could, instead of having the direct support for it, so the backwards compatibility, but a way to, whoa. Well, I guess I'm just gonna have to go hot. But a way to instead just take whatever it is and bring it up to what you do support, that might be easier. Because it also then means you can get rid of the old stuff, you just need to make sure you have this system that brings the new stuff up to it. Sorry, brings the old stuff up to the new stuff. I think it's this fallback whenever I'm at half health, by the way. It seems to be the pattern.
Come on, I need a visual! Getting out of here!
But I have heard of the idea of like making operating systems more like a virtual machine. Which is definitely an intriguing concept.
Come on, I need a visual!
You know, where the system I guess it would be something where like the system could just be always running and the virtual machine is what reboots. But it also would definitely allow you to sandbox, because you could have different virtual machines for different tasks. So like you could have a gaming virtual machine then, and that's where all the stuff with the gaming is, and so the stuff with documents that's separate, it doesn't matter. So it'll be protected. Ah man, I was actually hoping to read up on the Armand since I have to fight those things enough. There it is. Yeah, I'm unsure if I want to trust him. Plus, it's also interesting. I don't see any lines going to him, but he does have a line going out. So I wonder if it's like something triggers, and then I have access to this and the connection down here. I still have 3 people off of Jace. Alright, just gonna go here so that when I start up tomorrow, I can, refill on ammo immediately. I want to make sure it's saved, so this is the easiest way, I think, to do it. Alright, so, yeah, I'm getting into the story stuff. Although, I'm not gonna go and do the main mission yet. Continue down here. Can finish off Fen Bog, work in Sinking Country, probably, and then come down to Windy Islands, and then I will get back to Infinity and tracing through, the thing. Tracing through that main mission. At some point, I'm going to get back to the Sam Fisher, the Chapter 2 stuff. Yeah, because that... Well, wait, no, not Chapter 2, Episode 2. This stuff. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, I should include it. It's like, I'm already taking the time to do everything I can. I should also include that. And it came with Title Update 2, which is the Vulcan update, the Ghost Experience update, so everyone would have it. I don't have anything special, except maybe the AMD shirt. Really haven't been finding anything that I need to go in here for? Alright. Like that, to my knowledge, is special. But that's it. It's not like it's not like I have a season pass or anything like that. Alright, gonna be stopping. So see you next time.